Welcome to AI Evening News. Here are today's main overseas AI stories at a glance. Next, the second half of today's topics. The era of unlimited AI spending is hitting a wall. Uber burned through its entire 2026 AI coding budget by April. One company let a Claude bill quietly climb to $500 million before anyone capped it. A single engineer ran up $40,000 in tokens in 1 month. Per developer token use jumped 18.6 times in 9 months, and Goldman Sachs expects 24 times more by 2030. So the Linux Foundation is starting a tokenomics foundation to make AI cost control a real discipline. If ChatGPT locked you out today, it probably wasn't your fault. OpenAI confirmed a bug that wrongly suspended some accounts. The problem started at 1:26 p.m. UTC and was fully fixed by 4:09 p.m., about 2 hours and 43 minutes later. The company restored access and says it cleaned up the subscription and credit fallout. OpenAI hasn't said how many accounts were hit, only that some users were affected. The takeaway is simple. An automated ban can be wrong, so an appeal path matters. Anthropic is handing paid users twice the Claude usage for a limited time. The boost lands on Claude Cowork, the agent that runs tasks on your computer for you. It can open apps, fill spreadsheets, browse the web, and turn your files into reports. Doubling the limits means longer agent runs before you hit a wall. The fine print is that this is a temporary lift, and weekly caps still apply. If you live inside Claude, this is the window to push bigger jobs. Anthropic put Claude Opus 4.7 up against the software chemists rely on. The task was NMR spectroscopy, the readout used to work out a molecule's structure. On carbon shift prediction, Claude landed at 1.37 parts per million, effectively tied with Mestranova at 1.48. Then it did something the usual tools can't, working backward from a spectrum to the structure. It nailed all 8 simpler molecules and solved 4 of 7 hard ones. This is Anthropic's own evaluation, but it hints that general models are creeping into expert lab work. There is a new image model on OpenRouter, and right now it costs nothing. It is called Riverflow 2.5, built by a studio named Sourceful. It generates and edits images up to 4K and takes as many as 10 reference images at once. The free tier asks for an account, not a credit card. There is a ceiling though, about 200 requests a day and 20 a minute. If you have wanted to test a serious image model, this is a cheap weekend. OpenAI pushed a round of Codex updates aimed at everyday usability. The menus are now searchable, and you can paste straight into them. Your runtime choice now sticks with each thread, so settings stop resetting on you. There's a new activity view, more onboarding roles, and JSON output for the plugin list. Codex now claims more than 5 million weekly users, with non-developers its fastest growing group. None of it is flashy, but this is the polish that keeps a tool in your day. Cursor's design mode turns front-end work into point and describe. You click a live element in the browser running inside Cursor. You tell it to change by text or even voice. The agent reads the element's code, props, and a screenshot, then rewrites the source. The app hot reloads, so you see the edit almost instantly. It shines with React today, and you trigger it with Command-Shift-D. Google open-sourced a Colab CLI that brings cloud GPUs to your local terminal. You stay in your own shell, and the heavy compute runs on a remote Colab runtime. You can grab serious hardware, up to H100 and A100 GPUs, plus newer TPUs. Commands like Colab exec run a script remotely, while Colab download pulls results back. It is built to be driven by coding agents, not just people. One catch, it is Linux and macOS only, so Windows is out for now. Google is taking aim at RAG's weakest spot, pulling the right facts from scattered data. Its new Agentic RAG uses specialist agents to plan a query and split it into sub-questions. They search across separate data islands and keep going until the context is solid. On a hard multi-hop benchmark across thousands of PDFs, it hit 90.1% accuracy. Google says that is up to 34% better than standard RAG, with barely any latency cost. It is a public preview inside Gemini Enterprise, not a finished product yet. A new SEC filing shows Google agreeing to pay SpaceX $920 million a month for compute. That is a monthly figure, which annualizes to roughly $11 billion. In return, Google taps about 110,000 NVIDIA GPUs from October 2026 through June 2029. Google frames it as a short-term bridge for surging Gemini Enterprise demand. For scale, Anthropic's SpaceX deal reportedly runs $1.25 billion a month. The space company is fast becoming a compute landlord for the AI race. ChatGPT can now move a draft straight into your email app, ready to send. The text lives in a writing block, an editable panel instead of a plain chat reply. You can format it in place with bold, lists, and checklists, then hand it off. To be precise, ChatGPT opens the draft in your email client. It does not send for you. This is part of GPT 5.5 replacing Canvas with writing and code blocks built into chat. It is rolling out to Plus and Pro users with edits that stick for follow-ups. If this briefing helped, subscribe so tomorrow's signal finds you first.